Okay, this is Liren Giri. And as you all know, some of them don't know, Liren is playing a World Championship match in April, May against Jan Nepomniachtchi. So this is a good practice. Some people believe that Ding's not playing the openings he's going to play against Jan because he doesn't want Jan to prepare. So Ding's playing like his B openings, like openings he won't play again for the World Championship. Makes sense if it's true. Okay, they played a very unusual line that turns out to be prep and theory, which I'm not familiar with. So they played this kind of ready or not. Okay, so this I know. Now in this position, if white plays d4, that's straight Catalan, straight cash. That's just a Catalan transpose. Okay, and white played b3 because he wants to play kind of a ready opening where he double fianchettos. And if black plays an early c5, then we can take and play d4, and this looks like a Taresh, where I've played an early b3, bishop b2 is coming. That's reasonable. You can do that. Okay, but he played the testing move d4, and he played e3, c5, and one of the practitioners of these kinds of lines for white is Alejandro Ramirez. He likes to double fianchetto and play this kind of like reverse Benoni. I haven't seen Ding do it. Now, Ding played something which is recently topical, which means I know nothing about it. If it was from 30 years ago, I would know more than the players because they weren't even alive then. Okay, and that was like my main theory. But I didn't play either side of this opening, and what he played is the new wrinkle. And even it's so new that Giri knew a lot about it because Giri knows a lot of prep. So when Ding played this odd move, which you're going to find odd, Giri was just playing fast because these guys know everything, especially Giri. He played knight e5. And knight e5 has the obvious idea of preventing knight c6. And if I play knight bd7 instead of knight c6, how do I get this bishop out? I don't know. Okay, and it opens up the bishop, so pretty interesting move. Okay, so he played queen c7, and Giri was playing quite quickly. This is Giri black against Ding. Ding was also playing quickly, so this is some prep that Ding's not going to play against Nepomniachtchi, I guess. So, okay, and he played f4. Keeping his knight on e5, knight bd7. And he doesn't want to trade knights because the whole point is to kill this bishop on c8. Bishop can't move, so he retreats his knight to d3. And he says, aha, your bishop's no go, if he said aha. And then white's going to develop his pieces and eventually start a kingside attack because black is so passive. And black's going to push his kingside pawns. And that's what happened. Played e5, fighting for the center. Knight a3 to play knight to b5, a6, bishop b2, bishop d6, and Giri was playing fast. Giri knew all of this. Could somebody give 200 bits so we can get to level 2? It's embarrassing. And he played the move g4, and he played g4 pretty quickly. I mean, he's used less than 10 minutes to get this position. G4 is not a move you play in like 3 or 4 minutes. G4 is, and we believe it was preparation. When I say we, Svidler and me. Thanks Mepex, thanks Sven Weingold. And I think for some reason, Giri also knew this, which doesn't even make a lot of sense to me. Because I'm sure this is a new position. So white just wants to play G5, and black has to always retreat, and then white can start attacking and so forth. And such. Okay, f5. Okay, so he took on f4, and now white has a lot of moves. White can play ef, knight takes f4, e takes d4, and g5. And he played g5, which is the engine move. And now Giri quite quickly played a bad move. So we were confused about that. when I say we, like Svidler was confused and I was like, I agree. So you shouldn't play quickly here unless you know what you're doing, and his move's no good. So if he knows what he's doing, he forgot, or he doesn't know what he's doing and he's playing too fast. I don't know. Okay, the engine says it's time to sack a piece. F takes E3, G takes F6, knight F6. And obviously we're threatening like bishop takes H2, so forth. And then the engine says white has to sack the exchange, because always sack the exchange. GF. And this is just a complete mess. This position doesn't make any sense. Okay, engine says it's equal. Okay. And by the way, this engine says if you don't play FE, the second best move is rook E8, which is very weird. Obviously, if you've prepared this with an engine and you remember it, you could play FE or rook E8 and not take a lot of time if that's your prep. If it's not your prep, typically, especially Giri, he thinks a long time when he's out of his prep, especially in such a wild, crazy position. Instead, he quickly played knight E8, and the engine said, boo, boo, too passive. Okay, knight takes F4, and, black's position is, his pieces are, no good. Okay, great bishop, great knight, this pawn's attacked twice, queen's coming out, rook is on the half-open file, big advantage to white. Okay, and then he took, which is correct. He took, which is fine. Bishop E5 is fine. These moves are all fine. Okay, white's just better. Rook AD1 is good. You can see these pieces are just not playing. The pieces don't play. Rook E8's fine. And he played knight B1, which the engine does not like. And the idea is very simple. I want to play knight C3, knight D5. And my knight's not doing anything here. But the engine wants to play quicker. It wants to play rook D5 here and put pressure, on the fifth rank and stop the knight from moving away from the defense of the bishop and so forth. Okay, and he actually wants to sack the exchange, so this bishop is a monster. Okay, but he played knight B1. Now black should be okay. This move is terrible. A5. A4 is also bad. Just play knight C3, and his knight has these good squares. Traded bishops. Knight C3. Finally, black develops a piece, but okay, white has domination of D5. He plays rook D5, which is okay. Rook's pretty good on D5. And again, the engine says that white has a clear advantage. Knight F5 is good. And here, in this position, I don't understand Ding's move at all. It's not a move I would ever consider. If you said to me, what moves would you consider for white? This wouldn't be one of them. Okay, I don't know what's going on with Ding. Okay, this is the worst move he's played in the tournament. And that's saying something. So the two obvious moves are knight b5 attacking the queen and queen f2 defending this pawn. Because black wants to take that. So queen there defends it. And I guess other moves would be like queen d2, which the engine doesn't like. Queen c1 engine doesn't like. Knight d1 is something that stops this. Okay. He played a crazy move. Rook d2. Not defending this. And he just played rook d5. So he played here, and then he played here. Okay, and Jan Nepomniachtchi's licking his chops. He's like, that's who I'm playing? So he lost a tempo, moving his rook back and forth to a bad square, and allows knight takes e3, which is, I don't know. And knight takes e3 is not even the best move. That's how bad this position is. Knight h4 was best, starting to attack the white king, because knight f3 check is coming, winning the exchange. But knight takes e3 is what every human would play. Okay, he played knight d5, trading the knights. Knight d5. Knight d5 attacking the queen. Queen b8. He played h3, which is bad, weakening his king. Bishop e6 is a good move. And here, I mean, black's a pawn up, and white doesn't have very much for it. Knight f4 is a bad move. And now, Giri played a fantastic move. And when I say knight f4 is a bad move, it's because Giri played a fantastic move. And you see when the knight was on d5, it was pretty good, the white knight. Now there is no knight on d5, so Giri's able to punish that with bishop takes c4. Which is the correct move. And now Ding went insane. Okay, today wasn't Ding's day. He just played bad. Okay, and usually, if you're going to beat Giri, this is how you beat Giri. It's too complicated. Giri's not in control. It's messy. It just doesn't make a lot of sense. That's how you beat Giri. Okay, Giri likes it when he's slightly better and he's pressing and he has more time on the clock and he's trash talking. He doesn't like this kind of mess. And in this position, you have to take the bishop. I mean, black's up 2 pawns. And the correct sequence would be takes, queen defends the rook somehow, takes, queen e5, and black is clearly better. This is weak. The white king is open. I have a pass c pawn. Here comes rook d8. And I have a rook and 3 pawns for 2 pieces, and white's king is worse than black's king. And maybe the game would end in a draw if white plays better than black. But this 2-result game. Black wins or it's a draw. Instead, Ding made it a one-result game by not taking the bishop and playing here. I mean, now he's down 2 pawns. So he saves his bishop. White has a little compensation, I guess, but it's 2 pawns. Okay, he played knight h5. Rook e7 is dubious. He should play queen c7 so his rook can get out. But okay, it's still fine. Rook d5. He did play queen c7. Rook f5 is a blunder. Rook e8. I mean, this is not Ding-like. This is like somebody else is playing white. Ding doesn't play this badly. Queen c3.
Wait, why was that a blunder?
I mean, the rook's bad here.
I can see this
bad. You're weakening the back rank. Okay. You're helping black develop. You're walking into forks later. It's not a good square for the rook.
I just thought I called him something else.
Okay, then he sacks a piece, which loses. He's losing anyway, so he just went all in. Yeah, and now Giri played the only winning move. So knight f6 check is a good practical try. Because there's only one move that wins here for black. So here's the problem. If you play the obvious rook e6, because your rook's hanging, and your knight's hanging, so now you're up a piece. When I check you here to play queen g7 mate, you can't block with the knight because your queen's hanging. The knight's pinned. So you can't play rook e6.
I see.
Okay, so you only have one move that wins, and he played it. And maybe Ding didn't see it. Maybe Ding thought knight f6 he was doing okay. I believe that. I think Ding might not have seen this move. It's not a move you would ever think of. It's a crazy move.
Knight f3.
Yeah.
I thought of that first.
Right, that's the only move that wins.
Get out of the way of the
rooks. Now he can get out the way, and we get out of the
first move I thought of.
And then he takes it. Rook e1 check, and black is up 1 pawn, and black's king is actually safer now. This queen can never get to g7. But your king, you better watch it. Can't go here, it's illegal. And I have a bishop controlling f1. Always have your bishop control f1. And king here is risky because checkmate. So risky. So he always play bishop f1. In this position, Giri played the best move. Somebody should use the G file to attack. Somebody should. Okay, but nobody has yet. So Giri's like, okay, I will. And he played king h8. Threatening rook g8 check. So now black is up a pawn, and black has a big attack against white's king. And the engine says it's plus 10. There's nothing for white to do here. He doesn't have any moves because this is pinned and attacked. And rook g8 check is coming. So after King H8, he resigned. That was a very unding-like game, and I must say, that wasn't very Giri-like either. And I'll say something else, too, because I didn't say enough. A lot of people complain for the last 10, 20 years, the top players in the world draw too much and their games are boring. And my answer to that is, that's because the players do that, not because chess is boring. Chess is exciting if both players want to draw and both players want the game to be boring and both players are 2,700, then yes, it's boring. If both players want to win, which is what's happening with these kids nowadays, the Indian kids, Abdus Satorov, Keimer, etc., and more. There's more young players like that. Hans Niemann. Okay, Hans plays crazy. Hans games are crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, Hans doesn't say, hey, let's have a 10-move draw. He plays crazy and he's winning and losing. And that's what all these guys are doing. There's a lot of decisive games. Okay, but okay. So it doesn't look like a Giri game where he's equalizing with black then offering a draw. This looks like some crazy game, and Giri's having a good tournament, and Ding is not having a good tournament, and you could see that from the game. Very unding-like. Very, and when you see this game, you think, man, Jan Nepomniachtchi is going to tear him limb from limb. But that's because Ding just didn't play well. Ding might play well against Jan and beat him every game. I don't know. Sometimes Jan plays badly too. Nepomniachtchi plays terrible one game and great the next game. I don't know. But, if you don't want to draw and you want to play chess is very interesting. If you don't want to play chess and you want to play the same Berlin draw every game, you can do it. I mean, you can't, but top players can.
Hey, I'm tired. I was going to try to make it to 11. I just don't think I could do it, but I think I did pretty good.
Mm-hmm.